Cattle have stopped breeding, koalas die of thirst, a vet's hellish diary of climate change, bulls cannot breed at Inverell. They are becoming infertile from their testicles overheating. Mares are not falling pregnant, and through the heat, piglets and calves are aborting.
Here's a summary of the article.
I once assisted farmers who have spent their lives developing breeding programs, with historic bloodlines that go back 80 years. These stud farmers are now left with a handful of breeders that they can't bear to part with, spending thousands keeping them fed, and going broke doing it. Most farmers in my district have not a blade of grass remaining on their properties. With no horses to breed, no cattle to test and care for, what am I going to do? I have worked day and night to build a future for my family, but who would want to buy our property out here? Who would want to buy a vet clinic in a town where there are no animals to treat because it's too hot and dry? Where the cattle become infertile from the 40-degree heat? Climate change for us is every day, and I am not suffering on the same level as my friends, my clients and the helpless animals I treat. You only have to look at how resilient our farmers are in the face of devastating, extreme weather conditions to understand that we can make a powerful, meaningful difference to our future. Gundy Rhodes is a veterinarian, scientist, mother, beef cattle farmer and member of Veterinarians for Climate Action.
This post received a score of 41,536, with an upvote ratio of 91%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
So how did Australia become full of climate deniers? I remember they actually took the ozone issue seriously back in the day. It is difficult to get a man to understand something, when his salary depends on his not understanding it. Upton Sinclair. This is why these reforms need to come from the top down and from someone without a corporation's penis in their rectum. We need a bloody environmentalist tyrants.
The rich don't want an environmental tyrant. Why do you think the major villains in the latest Godzilla and MCU were both environmental radicalists?
The rich won't say anything if they've been Robespierre'd.
We could make a religion out of this.
Who will take in all those Australian climate refugees in a few years?
NZ, to an extent, maybe Europe.
Maybe no one. Australia has turned away tons of refugees.
The white Australians will be accepted with open arms by the rest of the Anglosphere. It's brown refugees they don't like.
By the time Australians decide to evacuate en masse, the refugee crisis worldwide will be so severe that no one will be taking refugees of any colour. The rich will probably be able to buy their way in, but that's about it.
I thought this was going in the direction that all the Australians will be brown from how tan they will be. Person facepalming male sign.
It's not a tan, it's a crust.
They will be well done.
Coal should fix all those problems.
That and going to church. Yeah, like just invent bull testicle cooling devices those ranchers can buy. Coal-powered models would obviously be best. A big coal-fired desalination plant can solve the water issue too.
Funny thing is that in Revelations, when the seventh trumpet is sounded, the 24 elders of heaven will call on God to destroy those who destroyed the earth. But then again, most evangelicals don't read the Bible.
The evangelicals want apocalypse to happen so they can get a free trip into heaven without having to avoid sin or any of that headache. Hence the accelerationist policies and stuff like destabilizing the Middle East.
They think they're still getting into heaven for destroying the earth they've been commanded to protect.
Remember that biblical parable about the two slaves who wisely reinvested money the master gave them and got praised, and the other slave who just kept the money and got scolded? These guys would be a fourth slave who spent most of the money on hookers and the rest on a hitman to get rid of the other guys.
Sounds like an entrepreneur. He efficiently spent the money, providing a good return on investment from the money of the tragically deceased slave, which was invested on his advice, of course. And he tripled the value of his labor.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.